I presume you have proposed. Thank you. Madam Speaker, let me thank you for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the committee for that report in relation to Ng-Cdf utilization in the constituencies in Busia County. Madam Speaker, I do note that the committee has concentrated especially on policy issues that will enhance efficiency and efficacy in delivery. Madam Speaker, I know that we have, when we were proposing amendments to the Constitution, we spoke to this issue. Some of us spoke, some didn't have an opportunity to speak. But I want to say, Madam Speaker, that indeed one of the things that Kenya needs to understand is that political theory informs development. And in Africa, we adopted certain political theories from the West, and some of them are not necessarily the right size or the right fit. We have a country that is very ethnicized. We have 42 tribes. I think now there are 44 tribes. And Madam Speaker, with the nature of our politics, sometimes you discover that if you come from opposition areas like the areas where some of us come from, then what it means is that you can spend over 40 years without seeing any national government fund. The only fund that we know that is guaranteed, especially in the sector of education and security, is the Ng-Cdf fund. And I want to clarify, Madam Speaker, that even if the Ng-Cdf fund were to be stopped from going to the constituencies, it will not go to the counties, because Ng-Cdf funds are not devolved funds. They are funds, they are part of the national government fund. So even if the centralized system that the national government has adopted were to be withdrawn so that we move away from decentralization, then it means that decision will solely be made at the national level. But right now, we have our own people making those decisions at the village levels through public participation. People are able to say what their needs are, and the MP is able to oversight and intervene where there is unfairness. Madam Speaker, I just wanted to raise one issue that this committee has talked to. I agree with them over the issue of land, that whenever we are doing work as CDF, as a national government, that land needs to have title. The biggest primary school in my constituency, which is called Usare, public primary school, when I joined as a member of parliament, there was a court order that the school be sold and given back to the original owner. And it's the biggest public primary school. And it was a court order. Why? Because when the land was being transferred, or when the school the person was donating, they never gave back, they never gave the title deed, or there was no transfer. And because of that, there are some people who become smart, their grandfathers or their fathers donate land. And after they have died, they turn and now want to claim that land, especially where land has appreciated in cost. Madam Speaker, one of the things I want to urge the committee to reconsider is the issue that they have said that all projects must be delivered within the same financial year. Madam Speaker, if that were the situation, then Suba North would not have a KMTC or Kenya Medical Training College. Suba North would not have a TTI. Suba North would not have a police divisional headquarters. Suba North would not have another sub-county headquarters. All projects that are more than 50 million each. Madam Speaker, it has been possible for Suba North to do that because of incremental allocation of resources. And those are the resources. If you go to Waondo in Suba North, which was a very quiet sleeping village, right now it's a buzz with students. People are building a structure so that students can live in, because there is not much accommodation. There are women who are supplying food to the institution. Economic activity is an all-time high. And Madam Speaker, when you have big institutions like that, it just changes the face of a place. And now wherever I go in Suba North, every village I go, they're asking for a TTI or a KMTC. Why? Because they've seen how it has potential to just change the economic fortunes. Because the students will come from way beyond Suba North. We have students who are coming even from Mombasa to change the local economy. So I would want to urge the committee, the special funds committee, to consider working with the board that there are special circumstances that may require that funds are allocated piecemeal. Because if you are talking about equity, for instance, and the CDF funds, it's not as much as people usually assume it is, because there are statutory allocations. Madam Speaker, if, for instance, one project worth 50 million the money was put in one financial year, it means in that year, other than bursary, there will be no other project that will be done. So I would want to encourage the committee to reconsider that. There are improvements that are very good, like the one on land, that there is need for title. But on this one, because we want, there are areas where for development to reach, it takes a while. I know our counties are doing a lot, but they don't have the mandate to build schools or to do, security installations. So for us to have a change in our constituencies, if you want legacy projects, sorry, I've seen, it's no longer Madam Speaker, it's now Mr. Speaker, lest I am accused of making you something that Mr. Speaker doesn't like. We know him, he's a proponent of something which I do not want to mention, one as a Christian and one as a human rights activist, which puts me right in the middle of what you don't like. So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that based on that, I would want to encourage the committee to have a special attention on special projects. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the other issue that I'd want to speak to is the issue of, because as MPs we do oversight, and sometimes when you do oversight, you discover that there are people, like maybe in a past constituency, you discover that maybe a fund account manager who is employed at the national level may have not used the funds in the manner that they have done, that they were meant to. Maybe they've used overspent in one thing as against another. They should be held personally responsible, Mr. Speaker. And where such managers are willing to, I would want to encourage the board to make sure that they carry through and not to shield people who may not necessarily have stolen, but have gone against, like for instance, if you have funds for building a class and the money is used in monitoring and evaluation instead, that takes away, the accounts from what was actually it was intended for, which is not in the law, because the law is very clear. The Ng-Cdf Act is very clear in the way the funds should be spent. Otherwise, I support the committee and thank them for the good work. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.